It's time for Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Stay tuned for conversation and information from her special guest. Now sit back and relax and enjoy Real Talk with Cindy Barber.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Cindy. God bless you. I see you coming on. Please let me know the city, state, or country you are joining me from on tonight. City, state, or country you're joining me from tonight. Please tag and share and let others know that we are here. Please tag and share and let others know that we're here. Hope everyone has had an amazing day. I see you coming on. Also, if you are celebrating a birthday this month, please type it in the comments. The month of May, any May birthdays, please type it in the comment section. My guests are here, and I'm going to bring them on in a few minutes. Please tag and share and let others know that we're on. Those that are watching from YouTube, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Real Talk TV with Cindy Barber. And if you would like to be a blessing to Real Talk, I have 3 ways to give, and that is Cash App, $ Cindy's Keys, or PayPal.me/Cindy Barber, or Zelle, miss.cindybarber@gmail.com. It's good to see you. I see you coming on. Good evening, Lynn from Ardmore. Pastor Alexander, God bless you. Welcome. Trenton is in the house. Brother James from Ghana, Africa, West Africa, God bless you. Happy birthday, Pastor Alexander. May 2nd. God bless you. Happy birthday. My Auntie Sue is on from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Happy birthday, Brother James. Hope all is well. Hope you had an amazing day. In Ghana, West Africa, God bless you. Yolanda Dinks, good evening from Trinidad and Tobago. God bless you. A great supporter of Real Talk. Yes, grateful to see another year. God bless you. I know that's right. Grateful. Please tag and share, everybody. Please tag and share and let others know that we're here. Also, if you would like to advertise one of your events on Real Talk, please send me an email to miss.cindybarber@gmail, or you can inbox me. God bless you. God bless you. I see you coming on YouTube. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome, Sharon. God bless you. God bless you. Well, we're going to begin tonight with my first guest. Tameka, how are you?
Hello, everybody. What's up from Philly, baby? Woo! Good evening.
Good to see you tonight.
Good to see you too. I'm so honored to finally make it to the Cindy Barber show. I have been watching for so many months. And first of all, congratulations. And thank you for your
Thank you.
consistency and providing us with excellent ministry on this platform. So I just want to commend you for that. But
Thank
thank you
you.
for having me.
Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. You're such a busy, busy person. Just share a little bit of what you do
Oh,
because you
wow.
do a lot. Everybody in Philadelphia should know Tameka Ferebee. So share with us for those that do not know, because we have a lot of people from different countries. They're from all over. So share with us some of the things that you're doing.
Okay, a good evening, everybody who's watching from everywhere. I am Dr. Tameka Ferebee, and I am honored to be number one, a minister, a worshiper. I am a mother. I am a songwriter. I am a
Yes,
recording artist, Billboard charting recording artist. To God be the glory. I am an
yes.
organist. To God be the glory. I love playing the Hammond organ. I can play keyboard as well.
Hmm.
I am honored. I love the fact that I can read music. I learned how to read music in college and in high school. I am proud to be the chapter rep for the Philadelphia chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop of America.
Yes.
I've been attending the workshop since 2003, and I have been honored to share at least
Wow.
10 of my songs, of my original songs, with the
Wow.
Gospel Workshop of America. I also serve as a national praise and worship leader on
Hmm.
the main stage as well as the youth and young adult. I serve under my mentor, Professor Craig Haynes. I love him uh,
Yes.
at the shop. And I'm honored to be a part of this. I'm currently serving at Southern Baptist Church in Baltimore, Maryland, as the director of arts and worship. And I'm just
Hmm.
honored to be here.
Yes. And we're honored to have you too as well. So thank you so much. And I'm going to bring on my next guest. Tony, how are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you doing this evening, Cindy?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for being a part. So share a little bit about who you are and where you're located.
Well, thank you for having me on here. You have some wonderful broadcasts, and I'm glad to be a part of this evening.
Well,
My
thank
name is
you.
Tony Griffin, and I'm currently in the Greenville, South Carolina area. My church is Bethlehem Baptist Church, which is in Simpsonville, South Carolina.
Hmm.
And I know you have some relatives who attend my church,
Yes.
we have a great services there. I've been there for in some capacity for 43 years, and I've been minister music for 26 years, full time for 20 years. My current title is Director of Worship at Bethlehem Baptist Church.
Hmm.
I'm also an adjunct instructor, music instructor with Spartanburg Community College.
Mm.
And I'm the chapter representative for the upstate South Carolina chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop of America.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, you go to a wonderful church, a very large church, and I've been honored to be there in your worship service. And it's definitely a great service. And
And
thank you so much, Tony. And I'm going to bring on my next guest, Wayne Carter. How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. How are you today? Delaware's in the house.
Yes, definitely. So share a little bit about Wayne.
Well, I am Mr. Wayne E. Carter Sr. I am the chapter rep of the best chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop of America, as the Northern Delaware chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop. I'm an
Wow.
original of the Wilmington Chester, Mass. Um, Being a part of the Gospel Music Workshop,
Hmm.
I am also a national board of director.
Hmm.
I serve in the planning and production team. I work backstage, chapter rep liaison, director of music for the Bethany Baptist Church in Philadelphia, where Dr. Myron T. Barnes. So Gospel Music
Wow.
Workshop, I just love being a part of the Gospel Music Workshop. It's nothing like being a part of GMWA.
Yes, yes. And I met you so many years ago at
Yes,
the
you.
GMWA.
Yes, you came to us a greater faith, and
Yeah.
your ministry blessed us then, and it still is. And I'm just grateful that you allowed me to be a part of this ministry of yours, because you are an awesome woman of God, and I thank God for
Mm.
you.
Thank you so much, Wayne. So I'm going to bring on my last guest here. Corey, how are you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to have you with me tonight.
I'm glad
And
to
I
be
just
back.
want to even let other people know that you are an amazing producer.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I guess for the past 2 years, because I didn't know. And when I found out, I was just amazed and heard a lot of the recordings that you have done. And I was just amazed. I said, quiet, Corey. Well, I guess maybe not so much. So share with us who you are and what the other part of what you do.
Wow. So I'm if my mom is watching, my name is Dwayne Corey
Oh,
Shipley. Uh, I go by D Corey Shipley, but
right.
I've been a member of GMWA since 1992. It was
Wow.
yeah, uh, it was basically a graduation gift. Um,
Mm-hmm.
my parents made me sign a contract with them
Mm-hmm.
in order for me to go. And as Tameka, Professor Craig Haynes had to sign as a witness that I would do everything I was supposed to do in order to go to the GMWA. And
Oh.
I've been ever since. Ever since I've had several songs,
Mm-hmm.
uh, submitted to the GMWA, and as well as recorded. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I am the assistant chapter rep of the Central New Jersey chapter, and my chapter rep, his name is Joseph Jackson.
Right.
Um, let's see what else. I am the leader of the contemporary adult division of the GMWA, which consists of ages basically like 25 to 45.
Wow.
Some come uh, older than that, but
Mm-hmm.
it's whatever you want to do. We take you. But yeah,
Wow.
that's some of everything I do at the
Yeah.
GMWA.
And then also you direct a
Oh
work.
yeah, I'm
Wow.
sorry. I direct the Bishop's Choir. Um, yeah, I direct the Bishop's Choir. I've been a member at well, let me say, I started playing the drums at Grace Cathedral, my church, under the leadership of Bishop Jerome S. Wilcox when I
Mm-hmm.
was 11 years old.
Wow.
And then I joined the church when I turned 21. Um,
Mm.
and I've been there ever since. Um,
Wow.
I'm also a founding member of the quartet group, The Elders.
Mm-hmm.
So I do that as well.
Wow. That's amazing. Everything that you do it well.
Oh,
You
thank you
really
so
do it
much.
well. So I'm so honored to have you with us tonight. And um, everybody, I'm just honored to have you all with me here on tonight with Real Talk. So we're going to get started with our dialogue. And I have some questions that I wanted to ask because I know a lot of people are interested in wanting to know about the chapters and what your responsibilities are and what you think about choirs. So let's begin with I know the Gospel Music Workshop was founded in 1967 by the late Reverend James Shipley. Now, what is a chapter representative and how are you chosen for that position? I'll start with Tameka. Tameka, can you hear me? You're muted. You're still muted. Yeah, you're still muted. While you're doing that, let me go to Tony. What is the chapter representative and how are you chosen for that position?
Well, the chapter representative is normally the leader. The Gospel Music Workshop of America is made up of several different chapters from all over the country, really all over the world.
Right.
It's a national organization,
Mm-hmm.
and each chapter has a leader, and that person is the chapter representative. And I was basically recommended for my chapter, and then once the chapter makes a recommendation, that goes to the national chapter representatives board, and then they
Mm-hmm.
decide yay or nay if they will accept the nomination from our chapter. And so that's how we become
Okay.
the leaders of the chapters.
Wow. Okay. Um, Corey, what are some of the responsibilities of the chapter rep?
Um, So basically, um, let's see. We take care of the chapter dues,
Mm-hmm.
as well as national dues. Like have to take the money in for the national dues, all as well as setting up rehearsals, different
Right.
meetings, and then
Mm-hmm.
basically different functions throughout the
Mm-hmm.
year. That like prime example. It, and I'm not saying this because he's on here,
Mm-hmm.
but Wayne Carter has to. If there was a chapter representative award of the year, Wayne Carter would probably get it every year because he lets the whole world know what his chapter is doing. He keeps his
Yeah.
chapter active and
Yeah.
in the public limelight. He does all
Mm-hmm.
that. I don't know how he does it and maintain everything else that he does,
Right.
yeah, if you're
That's,
looking for a great chapter representative,
yeah.
and no disrespect to anybody else on the platform, but
Right.
I'm just speaking from what I see Wayne Carter do.
Right. Yes. That's true. And Wayne, can you add to that? What is some of your responsibilities?
Well, I guess these brothers have basically have really keyed on to what our responsibilities are, because our job is to cause our chapters to mirror the Gospel Music Workshop of America,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping them interested. Like tonight, this is our rehearsal, and we're in preparation for our second live recording, but we're also doing a pre-convention musical and a workshop. So our job is basically to teach people, because what you find out in most of the churches around the country, churches are suffering from something, the lack of.
Right.
So our job is to basically teach them, help them prepare their ministries to be what we do at the workshop. And
Right.
it's nothing like going to the workshop.
Yeah.
I mean, we shop, we eat, we go to class, we in musical. By Wednesday, you don't want to hear nobody singing, you don't want to go to no more classes, but it's really it helps you, and it's just like what we do coming back to our cities is to make our chapters to stand out. And I know
Right.
my chapter members get tired of here this man is sending me another text, here I'm getting another email, because that's what we need to be, is to
Mm-hmm.
try to prepare these churches of musicians to take our places, because most of us are getting older. Although I still look like I'm 35.
Right.
um, I know soon one day I'm going to have to sit down and just look at them and say, okay, you need to do this. So
Yeah.
but I think they're doing an excellent job, and both of these are both Corey and Tony are people that I'm responsible as a liaison for the Gospel Music Workshop. So they're doing a fine job with their people during this whole pandemic, because
Mm-hmm.
to get 25 people or more coming back and see you during the pandemic, and you got them back next year, you're doing something.
Yeah.
You really are. And
Absolutely.
they're doing an excellent job with their ministries.
Right. Absolutely. And Tameka, I know you're having a few little difficulties, like we all do with this Wi-Fi. She went out again, so I'll get her again when she comes back on. Does anyone know how many GMWA chapters there are? Is it
Well,
more than 52 states?
Well, I am also the second vice for the chapter reps. We do have on record about 100 and maybe 15 chapters. It may be more, but that was on what's on record. And from what I understand now, the assessments are coming in. So to say that now, we probably will have the same amount, but we have managed to keep that amount and the excitement there. So this year in Atlanta, we haven't been together in 2 years.
Yeah,
That's going to be a
yeah,
time of our life,
yeah,
because some
absolutely.
people have not seen each other. We just did something called Oh Give Thanks in
Yeah,
October and December. I
it
mean,
was
October
wonderful.
in Dallas. And
Yeah,
that was an amazing
it
time because people
was.
hadn't seen each other.
Yeah, yeah, I was able to watch it. It was really good. Now, Tameka, are you able to because I know you're having some difficulties. Um, how were you selected as the chapter president for Philadelphia? Tameka, can you hear me?
I can't even do it.
Can you hear me? Tameka, can you hear?
Her phone is frozen.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get her back again. What outside of the chapters, like the conventions, what does the chapter choirs do? What do they do? I'll start with Tony. What do they do?
Well, our chapter, we sponsor a lot of events throughout the year. We sponsor music workshops. We sponsor concerts.
Mhm.
We also do training labs for our youth. We also simulate what the Gospel Music Workshop has what's called a new music seminar, and we sponsor some of those on the local level where we've had songwriters and locally come in and submit their music and teach it in a seminar format. So we do a lot of musical events like that. And then, of course, we do our usual fundraisers to make sure that we have funds and be able to operate, be able to do things like we do with those workshops and those concerts and those type things.
Right. Yes. Wayne, can you share?
Well, we offer the workshops, and not only are that, we are 501c3. So we do a lot of community events. Like sometimes we decide to feed the homeless. Usually we haven't done it. The last 2 years we haven't done it, but we sponsor the Joy of Christmas as a tour drive, where we do able to bless the neighborhood with toys, bicycles, and you wouldn't believe the number of people that come up for the workshop because of that, and they support us. I mean, I was in a supermarket one time, and the lady said, "There he is." So they started looking at me, and I started to run, and they said, "Sir, no. You didn't do anything." I said, "What's the problem?" I was looking like, is this woman crazy?
Right.
And she said, "You blessed my family. My husband was out of work." And she said, "We didn't know what we was going to do. You was able to bless us with toys, bicycles." And she started crying, and she gave me a hug. And it made me feel good, because it said, we're not just singing. Well, after we do offer the workshops and sing and do this and that, but we're doing other things. So I like what I can say about Delaware, Northern Delaware chapter. Nothing that I don't ask of them, they don't do. Not did it, they do not. Because anything I say, hey, I need this. Can we do this? Yeah, we can do it. So it's offering, being there for the community. Really, it is.
Right. Wow, that's great. Corey, what does your chapter do outside of the convention?
We sing. We sing. We do concerts. Just right. Let's see. We released a CD. I believe it was March. It was like the first. Was it the first Sunday of March that year, 2020, Wayne, or was it the second week? It was either the first or second Sunday.
It was the second week.
Okay, because we were going to board meeting. We released our CD that second Sunday. We went to board meeting. We came back home. Pandemic happened, and everything stopped. So we're actually thinking about re-releasing the CD because it really got no traction, because the world took a turn when we released it. So it's been kind of hard trying to get everybody back together, because our chapter is it consists of a lot of seasoned saints. I won't call them old, but a lot of seasoned saints that are still kind of nervous about coming out the house. So it's been, like I said, it's been kind of hard, but I believe God will get it back all together again.
Yeah, right. And I know a lot of people, even in churches. Speaking of that, how have you guys been able to? How can I say this? Like maneuver, because you have some of them that sing on their own church choirs as well as sing on the chapter. Have you had any problems with that? As far as those that as far as being able to be on both. I'll start with you, Tony.
No, we haven't had a big problem with that. One of the things that we tell our people is your home commitment comes first. So you take
Yes.
care of home first, and then in the time that you have left over, you come and participate in the events that we have within our chapter. So
Right.
we don't have a big problem. We get pretty good support from the pastors in the community as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
try to include them as often as we can, so that they know what we're doing and why we're doing, because what we're doing really enhances a lot of what they are doing in their
At the
churches. And so
churches, right.
we're
Mm-hmm.
not fighting
Mhm.
against them, or we are not in competition or
Absolutely.
anything like
Right.
that. We all have the same goal. And so we just provide more opportunities. That a lot of the musicians, especially the smaller churches, they don't have those opportunities in their churches. And this is
That's true.
an avenue for them to be able to participate in other things like that.
That's very true. Very true. Tameka, can
Hi,
you hear
I'm
me?
so sorry. My phone won't let me be great.
It's okay. Share with us, as far as with your Philadelphia chapter, have you had any problems as far as with choir members that sing at church, as well as participating on the Philadelphia choir, the chapter?
Problems with members who sing outside of the chapter. No. Basically after post-pandemic, well, we're still in a pandemic. We
Yeah.
have been getting a lot of new members, so we're seeing a lot of faces. We're so grateful that we have 117 people who are registered with our chapter. So
Wow.
we have different groups, different
Mm-hmm.
combinations of our choirs. So, and
Yeah.
then we try at the Philadelphia chapter, we try to make sure that we don't have a going on because everybody's busy, and so we don't want to overbear them. But
Right.
we're going to become a little more busier in the months to come, especially June and July. Like we have our pre-musical coming up,
Right.
which is July 9th,
Yeah.
and so, but I would think we have too much conflict with that.
Yeah. Now, are you the first woman to be the chapter rep for Philadelphia?
Yes, I believe I'm the first female to be the chapter rep for the very first chapter of the Gospel Music Workshop of America.
Yeah.
Philadelphia was the first
That's
chapter,
wonderful.
so I am honored to be the chapter rep.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's really good. Well, you represent the women well with music, and very well. I think you're doing a good job. And like I was saying too before, our phone went out again. As far as all of you basically have recorded. Tony, has your chapter done a recording?
I have not done anything with our chapter choir. Of course, I've done several recordings with my church choir over
Right.
the years, but our chapter choir has not done any recording. Some of our members have participated in the national GMWA and some of their recordings,
Okay.
so with the mass choir and those different events throughout the GMWA.
Right. Very good. Wayne, I know you have. So share
Yes.
a little bit about your choir, Northern Delaware.
Well, I would say in 2015 was our first live recording that we did, and it did really well, and it's doing well. Even and we did a couple singles, and we at that time I was like at the helm of a lot of the instruction, the teaching, and
Mm-hmm.
the demands. I still do the demands, but now we're preparing for our second live one, and that's being done by I have a group of young people. They're younger than I am
Mm-hmm.
that are leading it, and that's AJ Collier and Theron
Yeah.
Trailer and Jermaine Nixon. I mean, I must say they are really working hard. The music is exciting. It's just like I can't wait till we record this October 29th, and
Okay.
it's going to be really it's going to be exciting. And these
Yes.
guys are really doing a good job, and I can't say anything bad about them.
Right.
They are so used to me demanding. They say, okay, well, you sit down now, we got this. And I'm like, okay, all right. But they give me all the respect, and I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that. So, and I'm thanking God for their leadership and what's going on. It's a lot of work to it, and I didn't realize recording was a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. And
The
Corey,
recording is easy, but the marketing is part that you have to really work at.
yes,
So
yes.
they're doing a good job, and I thank God for the staff we have now.
Hmm. Absolutely. Corey, has your chapter choir recorded?
Yes, like I was saying, we released our CD
Right.
um, 2 weeks before the pandemic happened, before the world shut
Hmm.
down. So it's out on all digital outlets. Central New Jersey chapter of
Yeah.
GMWA. It's called Great Praise. So like I said, probably before the summer is out,
Hmm.
we're gonna have a whole nother re-release of it,
Yeah.
because people don't know that it's out,
Right.
because the world, like I said, the world shut down.
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually fortunate to have a song on uh, Delaware's first record.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Wow. Now, Corey, how hard is it? I know Wayne talked about it a little bit as far as the after the project is
Mhm.
completed, getting it to the radio stations, marketing it. How hard is that? And do you, when you do, because I know you produce a lot, do you have a staff that are promoters or to get it out, or as far as your marketing? What do you do?
So uh, through GMWA, I've gained a lot of relationships
Mm,
with radio people, and also people that do marketing.
mm-hmm,
And whenever I put out a project, or if I produce a project,
mm-hmm.
depending on whoever's budget, I'll let them know, hey, I know so and so, and they probably can get you some airplay, or I know so and so
Oh,
that can
okay.
do some marketing for you. Um, just recently, I signed with Enon Music Group, um, for distribution, as well
Really?
as radio and marketing, um, and that's doing
Mm,
pretty good for our uh, for my church choirs,
mm-hmm.
new single that we just really put out,
Wow.
and I'm probably going to wind up doing the same thing with the chapter record this time.
Wow. That's,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Tameka says she's gonna have to type her, what she has to say. We haven't this is for the Philadelphia chapter. We haven't recorded for several years, but we are having conversations about recording in 2023. Now, as far as for your recordings, you raise the money yourself. It doesn't come from the convention, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
So you guys just do fundraisers to get them to raise the money.
Fundraisers, concerts, car washes.
Yeah.
But can I? But
However,
I. But can I say this? And I think we talked about this about taking people away from their churches, and that's something I promise a lot of pastors in this area, and that's something that I try to stick to.
Hmm.
You need to handle home first, and
yes.
a
Right.
lot of our support have come from the support of our Delaware pastors and funeral directors
Hmm.
and people here, and that's just been a blessing for me that the relationship that I've had with some of them allows me to do these things. Of course, we do we do have fundraisers, we have
Right.
concerts. We just say we do other fundraisers because concerts don't always bring us money.
That's
Um,
true.
People come to the programs, they they get happy, they
$1.
fall out, they run, and they give no money.
Right. Or one
Hallelujah.
dollar.
They don't, not even 50 cents, but these pastors that we have here have blessed us financially, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean financially. That when I need
Mm-hmm.
to, then one pastor said, Carter, what do you want now? And I said, Pastor, I need this. And he'll say, hey, don't just here, take my check. And it'd be nice. So I thank God for that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I would recommend to you guys. Keep building the relationships with the pastors, because that's really how your ministries get built, because they want their church to sound better, and we work with them, and they love it, and you support them, and they
Mm-hmm.
support you. And that's, I thank God for the favor from the pastors, from God, that he has blessed those pastors on their hearts to support us.
That's wonderful. Now, as far as like a chapter, if someone wanted to start a chapter, could they just automatically do that, or is that an assignment from the convention?
They have to, and I can speak on that. They have to go through the steps. That comes to the under the chapter rep division.
Mm-hmm.
So once if you have a desire, then you actually would go submit that request,
Mm-hmm.
and there are guidelines that you follow, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like a list of things that you go get through, recommendations from leaders, and your statement of purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and they do the investigation, because we don't want to we want to make sure that the right people are leading, just not anybody. So once that's followed through that and you pass all that, you are certified as a chapter. But there is a process.
Right, absolutely. Now, during the pandemic, how were you able to really, maneuver with your choir to keep them encouraged? Because I know there's a lot of churches now that still do not have their choirs singing. They're just having, praise and worship teams. So how were you able to, I'll start with you, Tony. How were you able to keep your choir encouraged or keep them together? So what did you do?
Well, actually, we kept going during the pandemic. We just went to Zoom with everything that we were doing. As far as our meetings were concerned, we had Zoom meetings, and we also had Zoom rehearsals so we could keep the voices fresh and keep them singing and everything like that. Of course, it's a little different when you do everything through Zoom, but it still worked. And some of them who didn't have the opportunity to sing in their churches, because a lot of their churches just shut down as far as the singing was concerned, there was still an opportunity for them to be able to sing through the Zoom rehearsals and everything that we had. And we also had Zoom events. We had fundraisers. We had a baby contest through our Zoom, and we did several things like that. We also did some of our events, like our forums. We did a forum through Zoom, and Brother Wayne, he came on and supported us on one of those forums that we had.
Wow.
And so we just tried to keep as many activities going as we could during that time to keep our people interested and keep them active and keep going and during the pandemic.
Wow. Corey, how did you guys manage?
We just, as Tony said, we basically did Zoom calls, sending out emails and things like that to just keep contact with everybody. Doing wellness checks, making sure everybody was good.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we have a lot of senior people, in our chapter.
Yeah.
So we had to make sure that they were good. Because it was a very scary time.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a very scary time. We actually we lost a member in the pandemic, in the beginning of the pandemic, and that it kind of wiped us out because he was a young man, and just to have that happen, in our chapter. Our chapter is really. Our chapter is basically the baby on the East Coast. We
really?
just Central New Jersey just began basically in 2013, I believe it was.
Really? Oh.
It was I'm sorry, 2012. It was the year my son was born. And so basically we're like a brand new chapter, still learning and everything like that. So. Wellness checks and different things like that during Zoom. We just started meeting again, so like I said, well, we'll get back to the way we were.
Oh, absolutely. Tameka said they had a virtual workshop that was amazing. Our theme was growing beyond measure despite limitations. We focused on growing musically, mentally, and spiritually. Wow. And she also said it included a therapist, vocal coach, organ class, production class, etc. That's amazing. That's really, really good. Wayne, what did you do?
Well, we did the same thing with the virtuals and constant emails, just trying to keep contact with people. And it was just like my brother Tony said, it was a rough time for everybody.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know who was coming back and who was going to be a part. But I think the key was last year we were able to take 45 people in last year, and then we took 45 plus this year. So People are tired of being locked in the house, and we just do the temperature checks, the
Right.
mask, and we recommend the rapid testing, all those kinds of things. So it's coming together, and we're now able to rehearse at a church where it's large enough we can spread out. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing too. So that,
Mhm.
like as Brother Corey said, I have some seasoned people on our chapter, and that was a concern for them. But at the end of the day, they came back. So I'm thankful to
Yeah.
God for that.
Absolutely. Bishop Joel Adams from Philadelphia says, God will give you innovative ideas when you are called to kingdom that actually work. That's true. Very true, Bishop.
That's my
Very, very
friend.
true.
That is my
Yes.
friend.
Yes.
Bishop Joel Adams, my
He's
friend.
a great supporter of
Yes, he
everyone.
is.
Of
He and Pastor
everyone.
Morgan, they
Yes.
support.
I should say for Delaware, Pastor Albert Morgan was our worship leader for our last project, and then Bishop Adams was the narrator for one of our songs. And I mean,
Mm,
they're just good people, and I love
mhm,
both of them very much. Both of
mhm.
them.
Yes. Wow. Let's talk about choirs versus the praise and worship teams. You hear a lot of talk about it because I know during the pandemic, the choir was basically the first, besides shutting down the churches, but the choirs were the ones that could not sing. And for a long time, and like even now, it's been some struggle trying to get some back. Some never stopped, and some did stop. Some, like we said, some older people still have not gone back into the church. And now that we see some things that are on the uphill again with COVID, as far as the numbers are rising again in certain states. So, what are your thoughts as far as I know, and I love praise and worship, and I think it's important to have, but I don't believe that it should replace choirs.
Absolutely.
And a lot of churches are doing that to where they did have a
Absolutely.
choir, they no longer really have the choir. They have a praise and worship team. How about still use the choir and maybe break them up into smaller groups, to sing? So, what are your thoughts as far as with when we talk about praise and worship, the CCM music versus the gospel, and with choirs now in the church, and since you are chapter reps, as well as you all work in your individual churches with choirs, you guys are known for choirs. So, what are your thoughts, about choirs not singing and being replaced with praise and worship? I'll start with Corey, then I'll go to Tony, and then I'll go to Wayne. And also,
Uh,
Timothy, you can
so
come in.
hopefully I don't get in trouble. Uh, I've been known to get in trouble.
Sorry.
Um, uh, so I'm with you. Praise and worship is good. The CCM style is great. Everything
Mhm.
is fine in its place.
Right.
Um, but to there is nothing like a choir.
Yes,
There
sir.
is, granted, you can put your praise team together, and you
Mhm.
might be able to sing some choir songs,
Absolutely.
but there is nothing like hearing uh 30, 40, 50 voices break out singing hallelujah, salvation, and glory.
Yes.
And then when they break up into those parts, all praises be, there's nothing like that angelic sound. um
Yes.
and I'm happy that we've finally been able to, um like, as far as my church choir,
Mhm.
we've been able to uh start taking everybody out when we go sing now,
Oh,
because we were held to some constraints, and I
Mhm.
could only take like maybe 15 people.
Oh,
So now I'm able to take out the whole choir, and we're actually getting ready to sing for the first time in 2.5 years, on the first Sunday in June.
wow.
Yeah,
That's nice.
on the Sunday morning service. So
Wow.
I am so happy about that, because
Mhm.
even though I'm the praise and worship leader at the church, I
Mhm.
I want to swing my arms.
Yeah.
I
Right.
might get happy and swing my arms on words that's not even in the song. Uh, but yeah, I like I said, praise and worship has its place. Choir music has its place, and I think that if we join it together, we'll have a great situation. And but I'll say this: a lot of younger pastors, um, they're the ones that don't really see the need for the choir because I don't want to say it, but I'll say it. The method now is to do what keeps butts in the seats. Um,
Yes,
but to be honest with you, and Wayne just said it, some of these younger people, they're not the ones that give the money.
that's true.
So if Big Mama and them, you keep acquiring there, Big Mama and them, they gonna give you that money. They gonna give you that money, and they gonna keep that church afloat.
That's
Cause
right.
they don't know nothing about burn me up, Jesus. I sacrificed my life to you. They don't know nothing about that. They know Amazing Grace, Blessed Assurance, and all that stuff.
Right.
I'm done.
Right, and you're absolutely right. You didn't say anything out of the way. It was good. Tony?
Okay, I agree with Brother Corey in his assessment of the praise team versus the choir. First of all, let me say I thank God for our praise team because when we couldn't bring our choir in, our praise team kept things going for several months, for a long time. And even though even with that, we couldn't even bring the whole praise team in, and we had to split them in half. But they kept things going, and I really appreciate that effort and everything like that. But we miss the sound of the choir in our church. The choir is a very important part of our church and a part of our worship service. So we've been probably about 7 months. We've had our vaccinated choir back. It was a little rough at first because we were still having COVID cases and those type things, and we just had the ones who could be there and everything. Everybody was spread out and everything like that.
Right.
Now it's getting a lot better where we're going back to closer to what our choirs were like before the pandemic, and so we're getting back to that. But there's nothing like the sound of a choir. The praise team has its role and it has its purpose, but the choir I think is very important part of our worship service, and I'm glad to see the choirs coming back. And as somebody said in the comments, we've got to keep those choirs alive.
Yes, absolutely. Now, before you speak, Wayne, let me read this from Tameka, and then you can go right after this. She says, I love praise and worship, but there is nothing like singing in a choir or experiencing the sound of the choir. When you think of church, you think choir. I find that a lot of members were depressed because they miss singing with the choir. Singing helps us to release the feel good endorphins in our body, and it is magnified when you sing with the choir. It also brings less strain on your voice because of many voices. True. Also can cover some mistakes that are exposed with a few voices. That's very, very true. I know a lot of people were upset that they could not sing on the choir. And someone else wrote, this is Pastor Rashida Phillips from Charlotte. She says, please bring back the choir. It gives us non-singers an opportunity to sing. True. Wayne?
Well, I will concur. I can deal with the praise team. I can handle it, but like everybody's been saying, there's nothing like a choir sound. And I'm just listening to the chapter rehearse, and that's why you see my head bobbing.
Yeah.
They are really, they're wearing this song out. So ain't nothing like a choir song. So you 5 or 6, 7 or 8. No, I'm okay with that. We had to do that at church. But right now, this choir has to come back. And if I have anything with Delaware, I'm trying to help everybody come back with the choirs because that's what's needed.
Right, it is. And Bishop Adams said, D. Corey Shipley is excellent at breaking it down and making it work. I watch him be safe through this pandemic. He had wisdom through this. And that's why I think it just takes wisdom. It takes wisdom. But I'm finding like what Corey said, a lot of the younger pastors, we have pastors that's 30, some that's in their late 20s.
Yep.
In their early 30s.
And that's all they know.
Now. And that's all they know. Some of them, their parents, were brought up with choirs, and many of them did not. But a well-rounded, to me, a prosperous church, a good church, is a well-rounded church. You can still have your praise and worship, but you got to have that choir. Most people, that's all they know when they come to church. When you think of church, you think of choir.
In robes.
Tameka was saying,
in
yes.
robes.
Talk about that.
In robes.
Yes.
And I there's something that I watch is Say Man Somebody. And
Yes.
I use this to the analogy to why cars should wear robes. Mother Willa Mae Ford said she was ministering going back to Jesus, and nobody believed me. She said she was singing in worship service, and she was singing, trying to reach the man, going back to Jesus. And she said the whole time she was singing, she said somebody had told her they want to pat her hips. So that's why she started wearing robes. So
Wow.
everybody said,
Yes.
that's a lie. That's a lie. I said, go back and put in Say Man Somebody and looking at it. So I had people looking, they said, you ain't lying. I said, yeah. Good choirs, look, they do that. I think they sound better in robes. I hate outfits because you show all of your hitting your other stuff. You do.
Right.
So.
Yes. This is my sister. She said, Prophet State said, everyone on here is pro choir, but no one is here as a worship leader to promote their stance. I'm not either one and enjoy both. I love anointed worship teams and anointed choirs. I don't think you have to have a choir, but I admit I love choirs. Yeah. Tameka says, shout out to Mom Burt, who made everyone's robe. She sure did.
Yes.
And she said robes equals unity.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't see that too much with choirs, with robes. You really don't.
We wear our robe. Well, we don't wear our robes. Well, it's very rare we wear our robes out, but we wear them on Sunday mornings. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sundays is nice to have them on. This is Jeannie Kane. She's from Providence, Rhode Island. She says, amen. I miss being in the state choir. Our church doesn't have enough members to have a choir, so we have to do praise and worship. Yeah, and that's the thing. Those that, you have a small amount and they praise and worship, some of them still call it a choir, even if it's 5 or 6. Some of them have 10 and they still call it a choir. Mike Barnes, who's on YouTube, says, is it possible for chapter reps to assist local churches in their area with help forming choirs?
Yes, it is. It's very well possible. You just have to reach out to the chapter, in your area, because that's what the workshop is all about. The workshop is all about helping, us going to the national convention, coming back to our communities and helping our communities develop what they need. For me, going to GMWA is like people going to the Koji convocation in November, because they go there, they get built up, and go home for that next year, and they do everything that they need to do. There's so much that goes on at the GMWA throughout the week, as far as the classes, as far as the daily bread.
Right.
Everybody thinks that it's all about singing all day long, and trust me, there is singing all day long, but there is also a lot of important information that goes on throughout the whole day. That I know personally, that I bring back home and share with my community.
Yeah, that's very true. Tameka said that we are a hub for all of your musical needs. That's true.
One thing I would say is, we prepare the table, but, people have to come to the table. And a lot of times we find that some of the churches that really need the help the most, they don't come and they don't send their people. Yeah. I don't know if it's because they feel like they need to come, or because they they think they already have what they need and everything like that. But it's sad when you have all this going on and people don't take advantage of it.
Right, absolutely. Bishop Adams says, I don't want to ever forget, as leaders, we had to make decisions that we never had to make before in this pandemic. We learned as we went. There was no map, no book, and no prophecy. We were caught off guard. Truth. That's true. Yeah. Tameka, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was going to try one more time to come in. I just wanted to say about the workshop. It's such an inspiration to me. The reason why I go and I keep going is you go to this one place and you can get inspired from people all around the world. And you come back home amped. I'm always like, oh my God, I need to go practice. Oh my God, I can't wait to teach this song. Or,
Yeah.
oh my God, I need to stop doing that because, I'm sharpened by what I see. All of these, because it's one thing to be wonderful in your own community, in your own church, but you are never exposed to, other music ministries doing music ministry on another level. You may never be sharpened or challenged to grow.
That's true.
You can play the song the same way for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's like really challenging you to go higher in this.
Right.
So that's one reason why I go to the workshop, because I'm always inspired to go higher and to do.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. That's very good. Iron sharpens iron, and a lot of times, and that's why, like Tony was saying too, you can, also, you can't make a person or people come to you for help. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes they feel financially they don't want to take the time, with the financial part of it. But definitely, if you're struggling or if you need some help, there is help for you. There is definitely help for you. Just the ones that's on here tonight definitely would be willing, to help. I always love helping people because I think that's what it's about. When we get selfish in our own, and we as a people, sometimes we can get like that. But when you have something to share with others, share it. Definitely got to share it. So as we, she said she got kicked out again, Tameka. So as we close, I want you to a final statement or something that you would like to share to a choir director or someone interested in starting to sing again, or whatever's on your heart to share as we close. I'll start with Corey.
Excuse me. I would just simply say, with everything starting back up, there's a song, excuse me, that the Bishop's Choir released back in 2014, and it took on a brand new meaning for me, and it just simply says, "Be steadfast, move always abounding in the works of the Lord. Know this, that your labor is not in vain." And at the vamp of the song says, "He who began a good work shall finish the work." Hold on, right. Be strong. You can get through this, and you were made for this. So don't be discouraged, because it might not look like you want it to look right now, but just know that if God calls you to it, you can get through it.
That's right. That's good. Very good. Tony?
Well, I guess I would like to put a plug in for the Gospel Music Workshop. I think out of everybody on here, I've been a member the longest. I joined back in 1984 when I was in college, and so I've been a part of the organization for a long time. And I think this is a great opportunity, a great organization with great opportunities for networking, classes, some of the greatest musicians that you ever want to hear. The opportunity to perform on a national stage. They have great exhibits and some of the best singing and best preaching that you want to hear. True. And then you have a lot of the national recording artists that are there, and the music showcases and those type things. One of the things I do say is, if you come to the Gospel Music Workshop and you stay in your room, you're not going to get the full experience. You have to participate in order to be able to do that. I hear some people say, well, there's nothing going on. There's always something going on.
Yes, always.
So I encourage people to come, and if you come, participate, and then you'll gain a lot out of the Gospel Music Workshop of America.
Right. You'll go back feeling refreshed.
Right.
Like Tameka was saying, you go back feeling refreshed. Wayne, as you close us out.
Well, all I can say, I think I've been coming to the workshop. Well, the longest. 1979 was my first convention. I was about 14 years of age, and I came to
Wow.
Wilmington, Chester, and I swore I would never come back again. When I got older, I was able to go back, and there is always something to do, always something to
Hmm.
learn. I just want to encourage all of the young musicians, come to workshop, come. There's some classes, but I would like to say to all our musicians today, a lot of our musicians want top dollar, but they can't play a hymn. So you need to come to the workshop to learn all about hymn
Hmm.
building and all that stuff. I promise you won't be disappointed. There's always something to do at the
That's right.
Gospel Music Workshop of America. Morning, day, night, midnight, whatever. There's something to do.
Hmm. Yes, absolutely. And
Can I just interject one more
yes,
thing?
go ahead.
Because I don't think we mentioned this. Um, Also, during the workshop at these classes, there are certain classes that you can get college credits for.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
And you know, where can you go for 4 days and take a
Right.
class and actually get college credits? And these
That's
are
true.
real college credits. This is nothing fake. It's
Right.
real college credits that these classes are taught by
Hmm.
professors and people that do this every day.
Hmm. That's true. I'm glad you
We
brought
have
that
an
up.
awesome director, a dean that's in charge of the academic division. That's Dean Charles Reese. And when I say he makes sure that things are provided and there for us,
Hmm.
like Brother Corey was saying, you can get there. You can get college credit. There are some people that have gotten doctorates through the Gospel Music Workshop of America. So
Yeah.
it's a wealth of information, and I'm excited just to be a part. I look forward to it, even though being on the board of directors, I already told Dean Reese, I said, I'm going to somebody's class. I'm doing something other than being in the meetings all day. So
Right.
he said, "Oh, you are?" I said, "Yes, sir, I am." So the workshop is a place to be, a place to
Yes,
go to. This July
absolutely. Yes, I was
24th
going to
through the
ask
29th.
that. Repeat that again. When is it?
The workshop starts July 24th through the 29th. Please go online. Our registration, we had a registration from March to May 1st for $100, and that had never been for a while. Now I think it goes up
Mm,
like maybe $25 or $30 more. But you need to go online. You need to be part of somebody's chapter. That's number one.
mm-hmm,
So if you're not part of a chapter, you're gonna be charged the affiliated fee, and that's not cheap. But so there's chapters all over that if you're close by, join them, and then contact their reps and see what you can go on our website, look up their names,
mm-hmm.
register because it's so important that you do it now. Because when we get there, it's we're gonna be crazy. It's just gonna be nonstop. The Come As You Are musical and nonstop. It goes on. Consecration
Mm-hmm.
service, everything.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Tameka just posted it, the website. So it will be in this thread. Also, she said earlier, sing to God daily, believe in the gifts that God gave you, invest in yourself, and sharpen your gifts by attending workshops like the GMWA and join your local chapter. And like Tony said, and that's true. I've heard of people that go to the church conventions or any convention, and they say they go for a vacation, but that's not the time to go for a
Mm,
vacation. You have to go to learn. And like you
right.
said, you can't stay in your room. You're not going, you can't stay in your room. That's not the place to be. You have to be a part of the workshop, the classes. But I've heard of people when they go to the conventions, well, I was going at the convention, you missed the services, you know. So people
Right.
do that. But tonight, I want to thank you all. Tameka, thank you so much. Tony, Wayne, and Corey, thank you so much. This has been enlightening, and a lot of people are sharing, saying that they really enjoyed this discussion tonight because people got a chance to really understand about the GMWA. Because some people were asking, what does that mean? So, the Gospel Music Workshop of America. So, we thank you so much for participating, and I hope to be able to bring you guys back again and we can discuss some more and maybe discuss after the convention, how things went, so we
I
can find out.
I think if you come to GMWA, we should do something live
Yes.
on location if you're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good.
And maybe we can get Bishop on here, and
Yeah.
make it happen. And I'll say this: we were talking about GMWA tonight, but there's also the Dorsey Convention, and there's also the Edwin Hawkins Convention. So we don't try to make it seem like we're the only convention. We're the largest convention, but we're not the only convention.
Right.
So
Correct.
And there's room for everybody.
Right. And there's learning, there's classes there, fellowship. It's enough for everybody. If you can't make this one, try to make the other one. So there's a lot that definitely can be going on. Jeannie said from Rhode Island, she thanked you all so much for this discussion. And everyone, Tracy Robinson said, thank you for the discussion. Connie Harrison. So there's many people that are saying, James said, thank you for sharing this knowledge. He's a phenomenal organist, and he comes on every day. He plays different hymns out of the book. You check him out on his Facebook page. Very, very good.
Will do. I promise I will.
Yes, he's very good. And he does a lot of hymns. Every day it's a different hymn that he does. There's some hymns that I haven't heard in years, but every day he does a different. He's been doing it for, I think, at least a year. He on that Hammond organ is simple. He plays the verses and then he's out. Then the next day he brings them back again. But it's very, very enjoyable. He really should do a CD like that. But some people like just listening to him, just instrumental music.
Right.
And Pastor Rashida said, this is so good. Thank you all so much. And my aunt from Greenville, she works Tony's nerves. She's on the choir. She said, this was really great.
She's great.
Yeah, she is. She's a phenomenal singer.
Yes, she is.
And Miko says, awesome discussion. She's from Tony's church too.
And Tony is so quiet.
I've seen him every year.
They might not say that.
I've seen him every year and then know he's
Tony, you are so quiet. He is really quiet. He is. Honestly.
But he's a worker. Because I went there to do a workshop, and then Tony be having to go on. He may not say a lot, but he's constantly he does some real big things. And he has a nice team that works with him. My aunt says, no, he is not. He's on the choir.
Those are the ones that really know me. So.
Okay, so then he needs to come to Delaware. I need to see how loud he is. And I'm his liaison. But every time I talk to him, he seems so quiet.
Make it happen.
I promise you, sir. I promise you.
Like I've seen him every year, but I didn't know he was a chapter rep.
Yeah,
really?
I've been chapter rep for maybe 19 years. So.
Wow.
Well, he's quiet. I've been his liaison for the last 4 years, and I've been a part of the division for like the last 14. But he seems so quiet. He don't say nothing. He doesn't bother anybody. He's a really quiet person. So now I know it's definitely okay.
Right. He has 2 choir members on here.
Yeah.
Who says a little
actually 3 of them on here.
Oh, 3 of them. They all say the same thing.
I got to find out then.
Maybe you have to sneak to one of his rehearsals.
Surprisingly, I can do that. I will do that.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I want to thank everyone for joining, those that's going to watch the replay on YouTube and also on my Facebook page. Thank you so much for being a part of Real Talk. And I will be back again next month. I'm almost booked for the month of June. Bishop Freddie Washington will be coming on.
Awesome.
I've been trying to get him for a long time. And I have some other artists that will be coming on as well. So stay tuned and stay in touch with Real Talk with Cindy. And we're going to say goodnight to everyone. And I want to thank my guests on tonight. So don't go anywhere. Just hold tight. God bless you all. Have a good night.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to Real Talk with Cindy Barber. We hope you have been informed and inspired by the conversation on this evening. You can contact Cindy Barber on Instagram at CindyRBarber04. You can email her at ms.cindybarber@gmail.com or the YouTube channel at Cindy R. Barber. You can also contact Cindy about having your event advertised on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Cindy looks forward to you joining her next week for another informative conversation right here on Real Talk with Cindy Barber. Until then, have a great evening.